Thank you for joining us here on the American Senior Benefits Family Hour alongside Todd Riley. I'm Jay Stoll. Harrison is manning the booth here. If you want to get a hold of us, 402-464-5685 or the Starter Heyman text line as well. We're just going to give a shout out to a guy I know that's listening, Ray Mansky.
Ray.
Excellent guy we work with, always positive, always upbeat. Best looking guy in the game right now. So good morning to Ray Mansky. Todd, getting into this now. I want to transition more towards your specialty. We're talking about Nebraska football. And we're talking about how, you got to start off, working hard and building a foundation and putting in the work and putting in the effort. It's the same thing for what we're doing right now. Now, I know for a fact there's been two large corporations here in Lincoln that have massive layoffs, that have over 100 people that have been laid off. They're looking for something to fill in the gap until they find their next career, next avenue, which is great. We need desperate help right now because this is the time of the year where folks over 65 are confused. They need help. They need to talk to. They need someone local. They need someone that's going to be a smiling face and energetic and let them know things are going to be all right. How can people get involved with what we're doing, and why should they get involved with what we're doing?
Well, it is the time. I mean, my heart goes out to everybody losing their jobs right now. Christmas is coming up. New Year, you're supposed to be all excited. That's definitely a punch in the gut. I remember my dad worked at a factory and there towards the end, every week he was sure he'd be handed a pink slip, and what a horrible way to have to live. The neat thing with us, it's your business. It's your career. You get to decide if you ever get a pink slip or not. As I mentioned a little bit ago, if you have good communication skills and a good work ethic, the sky's the limit for you. People have said in the past, I don't know, sales, feast or famine, it's chicken or feathers, is it? But in reality, it's the most secure job there is. Again, I'll mention my dad. Every week was concerned there at the end if he would get a pink slip or not. And sure enough, the company itself went completely bankrupt, and he was 60 years old looking for a job. We don't have that problem. You are as secure as you make yourself, and I don't like depending on other people for my company. I like depending on myself, and that's what I think sets this career above so many. It's entirely your call. It's entirely up to you. Harrison had a great point a little bit ago about can it something be turned around in 2 years, and obviously Tennessee has, and Nebraska certainly could too. But I'll use our own office as an example. The Lincoln office started roughly 3.5 years ago with 7 people. And 3.5 years later, we have 26 people, an extra office in Kearney, and a huge milestone. We've had the largest month of business submitted we've ever had. We, for the first time ever, cleared $1 million in 1 month in submitted business.
Wow. Now, for somebody listening, they don't know what that means. $1 million, how much money is that putting in my pocket to take care of my family?
Well, average has been about $54,000 first year. We train everybody to make a 6-figure income their fourth, so a darn good one. In our what we call Team Midwest, which is Omaha, Lincoln, Kearney, Shenandoah, Kansas City, average income's $115,000 a year.
Yeah. Now, for people wanting to know, so you mentioned Christmas time is coming up, and people are losing their job and they're scared. How often do you get paid with American Senior Benefits? Is it every 2 weeks? Is it every month? You get a lump sum? If someone needs, quick cash, how often do we get paid?
That's a great question, actually. Every Friday, every single Friday. And we make it super easy, too. It used to be before, because I've been with American Senior Benefits 15 years now, or 15 years next month. It was just because we were new, it was pretty random. We'd get different days, different times. As ASB has grown, they've made it much simpler. So all the companies pay one funnel, or American Senior Benefits. American pays us every Friday.
So let's start from the beginning. What is your training? All right. Tell me about your training philosophy structure. Tell me about the first 2 weeks, of someone who did get laid off and they're looking to come aboard. They want maybe just to fill in a gap for a little bit until they find something else. What is the training structure like?
That's a good question too, and it's kind of neat. And I believe the gentleman sitting to my right here, Mr. Jay Stoll, thought that this may not be a permanent career for him when he started.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I've gave you like 17 million reasons to get rid of me, and yet you still open the door, have a shot of whiskey for me. We have donuts. I mean, you want to talk about recession proof? Holy cow!
That's right. I know the people I interview. Know their hot buttons. No, we have a say that at the office, the system is the solution. And we have a system for everything to make you successful. And training is something we just, man, American Senior Benefits has pumped a bunch of time, a bunch of money into it. And I think it's a foolproof system. If a person follows what we lay out, they absolutely have to succeed. The only people I see fail are either the people that do not do the system, or they just don't have any support at home either. That's tough, but that's a whole nother topic. But the first couple weeks that someone starts with us, and we don't expect anybody to know anything about insurance when they start. I knew how to spell insurance, and that was about the most that I knew.
That's more than me.
Yeah, I got it right 2 out of 3 times. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We'll teach you that. So the first couple weeks, a new person is in the car with somebody like you, Jay, or one of our other fantastic trainers and managers. And you're riding along, and you're watching, and you're learning. And what's neat is, I always say, you're earning while you're learning. Any sales that you guys make, you split 50-50, which is way cool of our managers. And again, if you follow the system, you have to succeed. We have a couple people now, Hans and Mark. Shout out to Hans and Mark that they're listening this morning. Actually, Mark's on vacation. He's on a cruise. So,
let me tell you that. Let me ask. So Mark started when?
Ooh, what's it been? 2 months ago now?
About 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Right. 2 or 3 months ago. What other careers, can you start a job, right? Start working, and within the first 3 months, you're going on a nice cruise.
Right. That's for sure. I did the same thing. I remember when I became a manager at company took off shortly thereafter, but maybe not ideal in the first week, but 3 months in, you're okay. And I know you, Jay, too, of the vacations you've been able to take with your family and stuff, and this have been unbelievable.
And we don't have to ask permission. We don't have to say, hey, I need,
Right.
give you 2 week notice. I'm going to go ahead and go on a vacation, or a month notice. Hey, is it okay that I leave and take my family on a vacation? Do you have enough people to back up or right the ship while we're gone? You don't care about that, do you?
No, it's funny. My wife always gives me a hard time. She says I'd be a terrible employee because I have been self-employed for so long. I wouldn't know what a sick day was, as far as having to document that, or a personal day. I asked somebody one time, they said something about a personal day. I go, what the heck's a personal day? It's like, well, if I got a doctor's appointment, or if I have to do, I go, we just call that a day. That's one of the neat things about this career also, is you can completely tailor your day. If you have a doctor's appointment you have to go to, or your daughter has something to play at school, or whatever, you can take that time, go to it. And then if you need to work later that night, or a couple other nights to make it up, you can. Or the flexibility, again, for someone that's disciplined enough to do it, is off the chart. Because again, it's your company, it's your business, it's you incorporated.
And that is the hard thing I think a lot of people have processing is you are now a professional, right? You are the boss. You are your own entity. You are your own person. Now we got people, coming in now. We got 3 new people, so we're real excited for that. They're coming off 401ks. You can be millennials, right? Call them what you want. That's fine. When they're used to getting off at 5 o'clock, working 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock every single day, every Monday through Friday, with American Senior Benefits, how does that work? I mean, can they get off early? Can they stay late? Tell me a typical week.
Sure. And that is it's a blessing and a curse. It's a double-edged sword depending on the person. And it's kind of funny. Joyce Ann, our recruiter, had come to me a couple months ago and said, a couple of these people, you have to tell them they don't work 9 to 5 anymore. They don't have that mentality, or shouldn't have that mentality anymore. Just because the clock strikes 5 doesn't mean you're done, or just because it's 8 o'clock. Where are you? It's entirely your business again. But you have to remember, just like if you own a dry cleaner, or you own a Dairy Queen, or you own whatever, you're only making money when you're on site. On light is on. And it's the same in this. But unlike somewhere else. I'll use my daddy. I had a fantastic dad. I'm picking on his job, but he loved it. Good for him. But if he would have wanted to say, take us on vacation or buy a new car or need, X amount of dollars, if he'd have gone to his boss and said, hey, Fred, I need to work 2 more hours each day this week because I'm taking the kids to Disney World, they'd have looked at him like he lost his mind. You don't set your hours, Harold. What are you talking about? But in this, you can. If you want more, work more. It really is a beautiful thing.
Now, somebody coming in brand new, when they're training, they have no idea about insurance. They have no idea about Medicare. They have no idea. They've heard about it. They've seen it. You also, let's talk about this a little bit. You also have just started doing a boot camp. Now, tell me more about that.
I'm a big believer of a sale. Maybe about 10% is product knowledge, and the other 90 is how to sell. But you do have to have that other 10%. And that's what this boot camp is. It's 2 days in the office that I train them on. And again, the system's the solution, Jay. We have a presentation for each product. We have what we call a menu that shows different products for people. That's what we teach in that 2-day boot camp. And I would stake my life on it that after a month of being with us, they're going to know more than most agents in with other companies that have been doing this 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So talk about so the products you're talking about, boot camp. What are you talking about?
Talk about a lot of Medicare, Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage, which this is definitely the time of year for that. So we go over final expense, life insurance. We go over hospital indemnity, cancer plans, dental, and again, kind of the sales process. Not kind of, it is the sales process. Prospecting. So speaking of prospecting too, a lot of people are concerned when they start in any sales career. How am I going to find people to get a hold of? It seems daunting, and so many companies will say, hey, give us the names of 100 of your friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go run those 100 people, maybe you sell 30 of them, and then you run out of people and you quit. And the company that you were with doesn't care, because that's 30 sales they wouldn't have made had you not been there. I always say, make that list and then don't go see those people. The quickest way to tick off your friends and family is to hit them on something right out of the gate, right? We being team Midwest spent $120,000 last year just to get names for people to get a hold of.
So you have a list of names that they can have, just random people they can go talk to. You also have other structures and foundations. You have leads that you doll out to the agents as well. Now, for those that don't know, a lead is basically somebody that has interest in wanting to know more knowledge. And so the fact that at American Senior Benefits, we have these leads and you hand these out, that makes talking to people a heck of a lot easier rather than trying to search and go find somebody. Now you have a piece of paper that somebody shows they had interest and wanted to learn more. So like I say, we're just continuing to evolve. You're only 3 years in with the company. Goals for the next 5 years, where are you going to be at?
I hope to have in 5 years. I hope to have another 5 or 6 offices, what we call satellite offices throughout Kansas, the Dakotas, Colorado, Wyoming. But what's neat too with our system, if somebody wants to start an office in California, that's an option. In Florida, that's an option. And wherever they would like to live, we can support that. But again, you'd mentioned about the leads. There's what we call a pyramid. Again, system is the solution. There's a pyramid of prospects, with the leads being towards the top, or we train people on how to get referrals. That's truly a fantastic way to approach people. So again, with the systems we have in place, good communication skills, good work ethic, come be your own boss. Live a lifestyle you didn't think was even possible before.